Your cat does something every single day that most pet owners completely misread. And I'm not talking about the zoomies at 3 a.m. I'm not talking about knocking things off tables. I'm talking about the moment you walk through your front door. Because right there, in those first few seconds, your cat is doing something that animal behaviorists spent decades trying to fully understand. Something that involves their nervous system, their memory, their sense of smell, and a kind of emotional intelligence that most people never give cats credit for. And here's what's wild. Most owners respond to that moment in a way that slowly, without realizing it, trains their cat to stop doing it altogether. By the end of this video, you'll never walk through your front door the same way again. Let's get into it. Let me paint you a picture. You had a brutal day. Traffic was a nightmare. Your boss sent you a passive-aggressive email. You stopped for coffee and they got your order wrong. You walk in the door, say nothing, drop your bag on the floor. And your cat, who has been asleep on the couch for 4 hours, is suddenly right there, sitting, watching you, like they already know. They do. Here's what's actually happening. The moment you step inside, your cat begins a rapid sensory assessment of your emotional and physical state. They're reading the tension in your shoulders, the pace of your footsteps, the frequency of your breathing. Cats can detect subtle shifts in human body language that we don't even register in ourselves. A research team studying cat-human interaction documented that cats adjust their proximity behavior, meaning how close they get and how fast, based on the emotional cues they pick up from their owner's entrance. A calm, relaxed owner gets a different greeting than one who walks in with cortisol practically radiating off them. Think about your own cat for a second. Have you ever noticed they sometimes greet you enthusiastically, and other days they hang back a few feet, just watching? Same cat, same door, different energy coming through that door. That's not random. That's your cat making a real-time decision based on data they're collecting about you. And here's what gets me. Most people in your life don't do this. They ask, "How was your day?" and wait for the answer you perform. Your cat skips the performance entirely and reads the reality underneath it. That's not a small thing. That's a form of attunement that's genuinely rare. Okay, so your cat has done their scan. Now they walk over and start rubbing their face along your ankle. Maybe they weave between your legs. Maybe they press their forehead into your shin. And you think, "Oh, they missed me." You're not wrong, but you're only getting about 20% of what's actually happening. Here's the other 80%. You've been outside for 8 hours. You've been on public transit, in an office, at a coffee shop, near other animals, near other people. From your cat's perspective, you are covered, absolutely covered in foreign chemical information. And that is a problem. Cats operate largely through scent-based communication. Their world is built on chemical signals, the way ours is built on visual ones. And when you come home smelling like the outside world, to your cat, it's a little bit like you walked in wearing someone else's face. So that rub, that's a rewrite. Cats have scent glands concentrated in specific spots: the sides of their face, the top of their head, the base of their tail. When they press those spots against you, they're depositing pheromones. They're layering their chemical signature back over yours. They're marking you as theirs again, as part of their world, their safe zone. Animal behaviorists call this behavior bunting. And what's fascinating is how targeted it is. Your cat isn't randomly rubbing on everything. They're specifically focused on you in that moment, right after you've come back from the outside world. Here's a detail most people never notice. If you've been somewhere with another cat, a friend's house, a vet's office, a shelter, watch how your cat's bunting behavior changes when you get home. It gets more intense, more repetitive. They might spend twice as long on it. That's not jealousy in the way we think of it. That's urgency. They detected a competing scent signature, and they're working methodically to override it. One owner I came across described it perfectly. She'd been volunteering at a cat rescue on weekends, and every Sunday when she got home, her own cat, normally a quick rub and done kind of guy, would spend a full 10 minutes weaving around her legs before settling down. He wasn't being dramatic, he was doing maintenance. And once she understood that, the whole thing felt different. Less like neediness, more like devotion with a purpose. Now, here's where things get a little uncomfortable, in the best way. Not every cat greeting is a warm welcome. Some of them are a work order. And learning to tell the difference is one of the most practically useful things you can do as a cat owner. Here's how to read it. A cat that comes to the door, makes eye contact, maybe does a slow blink and then stays close to you, just stays, that's connection. They want to be near you. That's the reunion moment people imagine. But a cat that comes to the door, glances at you, and then turns and walks somewhere specific, that's a different message entirely. That's your cat saying, "Follow me. There's something you need to handle." I heard from one owner whose cat did this every single evening. She'd come home, cat would greet her at the door, then immediately walk to the hallway and sit down facing the bedroom. Every night. She thought it was quirky. Turned out there was a slow drip from the ceiling in the back corner of that room that she'd been dismissing as minor. The cat had been escorting her to the problem for 2 weeks. Now, obviously, cats aren't home inspectors, but they are extremely tuned in to anomalies in their environment, changes in sound, smell, temperature, texture, things we stop noticing because our brains filter them out. The more common version of this escort behavior is simpler: food bowl, litter box, or water dish. Your cat has been waiting all day, and the moment you're home, the service resumes. The key distinction is this: connection greetings bring your cat toward you. Request greetings pull them away from you with a clear expectation that you'll follow. Both are communication. Both deserve a response. But mixing them up, treating a request like a cuddle moment or brushing off a connection greeting as a demand, is where the relationship quietly loses something. Let's talk about what your cat is doing before you get home. Because what happens at the door actually starts long before you touch the handle. Cats have what researchers describe as an extraordinarily precise internal clock, tied not just to light cycles, but to your behavioral patterns specifically. The time you wake up, the sounds that happen before you leave, the duration you're typically gone. And as your usual arrival window approaches, something shifts in their physiology. Activity levels change. They move toward the entry point. Their senses sharpen toward the sounds associated with your return. Here's what makes this hit hard. Your cat doesn't know why you come home. They don't understand jobs or schedules or the concept of Tuesday. All they know is the pattern. You leave, time passes, you return. And somewhere in their nervous system, that pattern becomes an anchor. So when the arrival window opens and you're not there yet, there's a low-level alertness that sets in. Not panic, not distress necessarily, but a kind of waiting that has weight to it. And when you're late, the greeting you get when you do arrive is different, more vocal, more physical, more insistent. One cat owner described coming home 90 minutes late after an unexpected delay. Her cat met her at the door with a sound she'd never heard him make before. Not a typical meow, something lower, almost like a chirp crossed with a complaint. He circled her legs 4 or 5 times before finally settling. That wasn't drama. That was a nervous system recalibrating after holding a pattern that didn't resolve on time. And here's what I want you to sit with. Your cat has no phone to check, no way to receive a text that says, "Running late, home by 7. They just wait, with whatever version of hope and uncertainty animals carry. That door greeting, however it looks, is what happens when the waiting finally ends. We've talked about what your cat does when you arrive. We've talked about what they do while you're gone, but there's one thing that ties all of it together, and it's the location itself, the door. Not the couch, not the bedroom, not the warm, sunny spot by the window where your cat spends half their life. The door. Why? Because in your cat's mental map of their territory, the front door is the most psychologically significant point in the entire space. It is the one place where their controlled, known environment ends and the unpredictable outside world begins. Every strange sound comes from that direction. Every unfamiliar smell drifts in through those edges. Every potential threat, every disruption to the stability your cat has spent all day carefully maintaining, it all enters through that one threshold. And your cat monitors it all day, even when they look like they're sleeping. Ethologists, scientists who study animal behavior in natural contexts, have documented that domestic cats treat certain people as what's called a secure base. It's a concept originally developed in the study of human-infant attachment. A secure base is someone whose presence doesn't just make you happy, it literally changes your body's stress response. Cortisol drops, the nervous system down-regulates, the world feels navigable again. Your cat has assigned you that role. So when they sit at the door, that specific, vulnerable, high-alert location and wait for you, they're not just waiting for dinner or entertainment or someone to clean the litter box. They're waiting for the one presence that makes the most dangerous spot in their world feel safe. And when you walk through it, for your cat, something in their body exhales. So the next time you come home and there's a small creature sitting right there looking up at you, take 10 seconds. Slow down. Let them do their scan, their rub, their check-in. Follow them if they want to lead. Stay still if they want to lean. Because that moment at the door is one of the most honest things that happens in your home. No performance, no pretense. Just your cat saying, "You're back. Everything is okay now." And honestly, that's worth 10 seconds of your day.